Yes, don't forget to check out Doggy Diamonds No Filter, the actual audio version of this show. It's on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. The links are right below in the description box. So don't hesitate to go below after this show and click on any of those, whatever your favorite platform is. Make sure you subscribe and also make sure you leave me a comment. Also, for only $100, I'll promote whatever you need on my social medias and my website. That's my Twitter, Facebook, Insta Stories, YouTube community, and my website, www.doggydiamondstv.com. Hit me up on Instagram at Doggy Diamonds for your promo. Serious inquiries only. Must be Cash App ready. Listen, and if you're not getting the notifications, then it's partially your fault now. YouTube is going to do YouTube. So you got to make sure you go to www.theinterviewking.com. Just sign up for the email list. All you have to do is just, when the prompt comes up, just put your email in there. That's all you have to do. And it's definitely going to come to your email. Let's go. All right. Listen, keep it funky. Keep it real. If you have a young man, a young woman in your family, they need to hear what I'm about to say tonight. I've said it before, but kind of maybe subtle and not direct in the way I'm going to speak tonight. If you have any troubled teens in your family, if you have any troubled youth in your family, then they need to hear this tonight, what I'm about to say. Yeah, y'all see the title of the show. So we gonna go there tonight, for real, for real. So yeah, let them hear this too. I'm not gonna use any language that any child cannot hear tonight. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna tone it down just for them to hear it. This is a children's show. I want to hear children. I want children to see this, so I'ma chill. All right, let's go. All right. Stop the music. Stop the music. What's up, everybody? I go by the name of Doggy Diamonds. Part of my attire, just fresh out the gym. I didn't sweat crazy, so I can still wear what I have on and then go live and then take my shower and get ready for bed. But I had to do what I'm going to say tonight and I didn't want to shower and lose my train of thought or just get distracted and want to say something different, because when I'm thinking about these topics and what I want to say to people, I realize I have a voice, right? Whether you think my voice is big or small, regardless, I have a voice. If what I say can help 10 people, one person, then I use my voice in the correct way. So when I thought about this topic, I thought about myself. So let me give you a little background on me, right? I was a gifted child. I didn't know I was a gifted child. I just knew that what I gravitated towards wasn't normal like the rest of the children that I was around. I love to read. I love to read. I love to read. I remember being about 7 years old and I used to read the New York Times. I love to read. I emulated my father because my father would go in the bathroom and use the bathroom and read. He would read the newspaper. So everybody want to be like their daddy growing up, if you're fortunate to have one before, a crackhead or whatever the case may be. So I had my father for a little time of my life before he succumbed to substance abuse. We'll get into that as well. So I emulated my father. My father was a truck driver. He drove 18-wheelers. And I just emulated him. He was my superhero. So I used to watch him go in the bathroom and read the paper. So I thought that when I went in the bathroom, I was supposed to read the paper. It just so happened that I was reading the New York Times sitting on the toilet bowl. Then I would get bored with the paper and I would read the toothpaste. I would read everything in the bathroom, but that was my gift. My gift was reading. I would read anything. I would read, I remember reading Charlotte's Web. I remember reading all the Berenstain Bears books. I read everything that I could get my hands on, and I knew that I liked to read. I gravitated toward reading. From reading as a child, I developed reading comprehension. I was able to not only read it, but understand what I was reading. Then I had a love for encyclopedias, but growing up in the mid 80s, you don't have access to encyclopedias. So I would go to the library and get encyclopedias, and I would love to just read the encyclopedia. I would love to know the population of states and what the state flag was and what the state was known for and what the state crop was for. I would love that. So from being like that as a child, and I'm talking about like 7 years old, from being like that, I developed a gift where my reading and math level was above normal of the urban community which I was from, right? I never in my life knew what white people were, because when you black, you see them on TV, but you're rarely around them. I didn't know what they were. Growing up, I didn't know what they were until I was in this school and I took the citywide test and I scored really high on the citywide test. And me being from where I'm from, growing up how I grew up, they actually looked at me like, wow, how are you scoring so high on your test? But I didn't know that I was special. I thought everybody scored high on their test. So when I was in 3rd grade, I had 8th grade reading and math level. I had 8th grade comprehension. So I couldn't stay in the local school with the children that was from the urban community. I had to get bused to special schools to be with more children that were like me. So they took me from the urban community and bused me to a school. This is my first time on the cheese bus. It's my first time seeing children that got lunch boxes and they're taking cold lunch and all that. I'm a free lunch kid. I'm on welfare, so I'm getting free lunch. But when they bus me, now I'm around other ethnicities. I'm around Korean kids. I'm around Asians. I'm around white kids. I'm around a few black kids. But I didn't know that I was special until they put me in something called the IGC program, and it stood for intellectually gifted children. It stood for intellectually gifted children. But I didn't know that I was doing anything special. I just know that I love to read. I just love to learn. I love, like, even to this day, I love to learn. I love to read. If you converse with me, if you talk to me, when the conversation is not going the way I want to go and I'm not getting any food from the conversation, we can't talk, because I'd rather talk about something that I could learn something from, you know? So being this child who's gifted, now I have to go back to the hood. I'm this gifted child who, for most of my day, is around white kids, Asian kids, Koreans. I'm around Indians, not Native American Indian, because that's not the same, but Indians. I'm around these type of kids. So I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, I'm looking around, because when I go back home, I don't see none of that. You see motherfuckers you see kids throwing rocks. You see kids spitballs. We used to make the thing out, the quarter water thing, and with the balloon, and we used to do all types of mischievous stuff. So I had a choice that I had to make, whether I wanted to be the smart kid with the smart kids, or I was going to fit in the hood, because I'm only with the smart kids, but then I got to come home. When you a smart kid in the hood, you have to fight even more, because you're looked at as a smart kid. I remember being teased because I was intelligent. I remember being called a genius. And I'm like, how am I a genius? Like, so what happens is, when you get back to the community in the hood, you tend to want to dumb yourself down to fit in with people that are classified as dumb. Not dumb academically, dumb because of their actions and their behavior. That's why I'm saying the peer pressure to be a street dude failed us. It's failing us. So I look at myself. My love was wrestling and video games. My love was wrestling and video games, but I got a big family, predominantly men, and I'm one of the babies. Everybody's older than me. My cousins, off the hook. My older brother, off the hook. Everybody off the hook. Everybody's outside, and I'm in the crib playing video games. I'm in the crib watching wrestling. It just so happens that wrestling and Soul Train comes on at the same time. There's not a lot of TVs in the house. So what are we going to watch? Wrestling or Soul Train? I want to watch wrestling. I'm outvoted. So we got to watch Soul Train. But I wanted to watch wrestling. What's the correlation for my love of wrestling and video games? The funny thing about that is Soul Train no longer exists. But wrestling is a $1 billion industry, and so is gaming. And I was on it a long time ago. But being in an environment that I was in, there's no way I could have sustained in this environment being a kid watching wrestling, playing video games, because when I go outside, nobody's into that. Again, they're into throwing rocks, throwing bottles, stealing from the store, doing a lot of things that they are forced to do based off of their living conditions and the environment. So what do? I fall right into that. I fall right into throwing bottles, doing all this stuff, even though I know better. I know better. But when you're a child, you're not allowed to live in your truth of being intelligent, because intelligence is a weakness in the community when you're black. See, we were taught that intelligence don't come from us. Intelligence come from Caucasians. Intelligence come from Chinese. Intelligence come from India. But we can't be intelligent because we're taught to be brutes. We're taught to be proactive, and we're taught to be about that life. What do? I fall victim to all that stupid stuff because I had to. I had to fit in. I'm telling you, I'm from a big family in Brooklyn. If you know anything about my family, you know what it is. I want to play Nintendo. But everybody's saying, come on, you can't be in the house playing the game. It's girls outside. They said you cute. And I'm like, yeah, but she ugly though. I ain't messing with no ugly girls. And you're taught at 11, 12 years old that P don't have a face. It don't matter if she ugly. You gonna have to do your thing with these girls or you are suspect. We don't know about you. Because you want to sit in the crib and play wrestling and watch these dudes in tights all day in their drawers. We don't know about that. So you're going to have to prove yourself to the hood, to the community, and be this street guy, or we don't know about you. So the intelligent child in me said, I don't want to go to no hooky parties and hook up with no girl I don't know. I ain't doing that. She ugly. I don't know her. The intelligent person in me was saying, I don't want to go outside and fight. Fighting for what? It's dumb. What are we fighting for? But the pressure that most children faced and facing is having to prove yourself that you are not intelligent and you down for what's going on to where you have to dumb yourself down. You have to suppress your intelligence in order to fit in to something that there is no good, happy ending to. So what do? This gifted child, gifted child. I'm talking about awards. I used to get awards for penmanship, all types of stuff. I remember writing, and one of my teachers in 4th grade looked at a paper and said, "Who wrote this?" And I was like, "Me." She was like, "Your handwriting is beautiful." Now imagine me being a young man from the hood of Brooklyn and then living in Staten Island as a little kid, and my handwriting is beautiful. That's not a badge of honor to say I got an award for penmanship. So now what happens? You start conforming to what's going on. You start writing with little pencils because you want to fit into what's going on. There's a lot of good children. There's a lot of good kids that go bad because bad is more everywhere. Good is not promoted. So what happens? I have to go outside and prove myself. I got to go to the hooky party and hump on girls too, or you gay. It's just the reality of it. And a lot of people, a lot of young men go through this. A lot of young men are going to go through it. And I'm here to say it's okay for you to be you. If you want to sit in the house and play the game, fine. If you feel like you're not ready for girls at the particular time in your life, fine. If you don't understand girls, fine. The children have to stop being pressured into making adult decisions, because a lot of times as children, we made adult decisions that we wasn't ready for. I wasn't ready for a lot of that stuff. But I had to be, because this is what's going on. This is the hood. This is the community. A bunch of children that have supervision, but when the supervision ain't on, we supposed to be in school. We ain't in school. We at somebody's house. We at Nut House. Shout out to my man Nut. We at Nut House. We at different people's house. We drinking beer. We're doing all this stuff at 12, 13 years old. Then enters the violence, the community violence. So that's a whole different thing. Me, I remember in when I say to people I survived the 90s Brooklyn, that means so much to me because I remember being scared every day. You don't know what's going to happen. I'm just keep it real with you. You go on the train, you got Decepticons that's flipping on us. We go over here. Shout out to my brother Billy if you're watching right now. Over here is the Autobots. All of this is going on. And I just want to watch wrestling and play the game. I'm going to people's house and saying, yo, you got cartridges? You got cartridges? Yo, you got old VCR tapes? You watch wrestling? And they looking at me like, wrestling? Nobody watch no damn wrestling. Cartridges? Yo, we don't play the game like that. So I had to dumb everything that I knew down to just be with the crew. It's no different from a person saying, this color doesn't define me, but I'm born into these colors, so I'm repping these colors. This block doesn't define me, but I'm born on this block, so I got to rep this block. It's a lot of peer pressure that men face. It's not spoken about. It's a lot of peer pressure that young men face that's not spoken about. Listen, everybody's not meant to be a street dude. Everybody's not meant to be the fighter, to be the killer, to be the robber, to be the thief. It's all of us at one point had to prove ourselves to some knucklehead stuff. If I had it my way, I would have never did none of that. Seriously, I would have never went outside and punched people, because what happened then, when I started doing these things, The acceptance of being a street guy was better than the acceptance of being a good kid. When you're 12, 13 years old and you have the power of a grown man and you can hit a grown man and knock him out, that's when knockout comes. That's when you start saying, yo, you seen what I did? Now we're outside terrorizing people just for giggles. Then it's who got caught, who went to Spofford. Then the jail stories kick in. Now you have a fear of jail, but it's also you kind of want to go to jail because when he came home from jail, he was diesel. He left, he was 110 pounds. He came out 180 diesel. Remember, we growing up in Brooklyn, we under the mindset of we love Mike Tyson. So anybody that was going to jail coming home with this Mike Tyson bill, we like, he like Tyson. So we outside doing what? We slap boxing, slapping the hell out of each other. Some are going to succumb to cigarettes. Some are going to dibble and dabble with weed. Some are going to drink. Some are going to die. Some are going to go to jail. But we're not taught none of that in the beginning. We just taught that this is how you have to be, or you a sucker. Or you a punk. Me, this intelligent, wise kid who's, again, wise beyond my years based off of just reading and absorbing knowledge, had to fit into a box that I never was made to fit in. But I had to fit in because of my environment. So what I'm saying to all you older guys, all you older girls, let these young men and women be free. Leave them alone. Don't tell them if they don't do this, they're a sissy. Don't tell them if they don't do this, they're a punk. If they want to learn how to play the piano, that's fine. If they want to play the video game, the gaming is $1 billion industry. Encourage them to use this, because this, I got stab wounds on my body. I got scars. I'm scarred. Nobody never told me, you're going to get stabbed. Nobody told me Juicy was going to get killed. Nobody told me Half was going to die. Tank was going to get beat to death. Bam was going to do 11 years in jail twice. Nobody told me Turf was going to be locked up since 2002. Nobody told me none of this. I just knew that we're having fun, and then now my peers and my friends are being picked off. Now my peers and my friends are going to jail, but we so happy that he's coming home, right? And when he come home, he gonna be diesel and we gonna take over. All the stuff that I just wish that somebody told me, you ain't gotta be like that. You good at what you do. Do that. Stay away from this. Stay away from that. If you a big homie in the hood, you can't take pride of putting the little homies on to the hood. You should say, listen, man, this ain't for you. You are a future lawyer. You are a future engineer, not music engineering too. Look up what engineers really do, not music engineering. You are future police because we need somebody on our side. You're the future spook who sat by the door. Books that I read that are like 11 years old, no lie. But nobody never told me it's okay to be you. It wasn't okay for me to be me. So when you see Bozo clown me and say, you come off like a Poindexter, you come off smart, that's a badge of honor to me. I love it. Oh, I seem smart. Because at one point, being intelligent, it always was frowned upon in the hood. Intelligent. You a geek. So now, me being intelligent as a grown ass man, I love it because I'm able to do all of this. I'm able to do these graphics. I'm able to make sure my microphone that has the clarity. I'm able to deal with this mixing board. I'm able to make everything. That's when intelligence got me. That's when intelligence got me. Intelligence allowed me to sit here today before you and say, look what I've done. Trying to fit in made me drop out of school. A gifted student. You like if you look at my old I forgot what it's called, records. Gifted student for my whole elementary years. So intelligence is what made me, that just make me pick up stuff. Like, you can show me something, and intelligence makes me understand. Intelligence makes me do interviews, and I never wrote a question down. I don't know if y'all know that. Every interview you ever see me do, since you saw me do interviews, I've never wrote a question down. I don't have a computer in front of me. I don't have a cheat sheet. That's what intelligence enabled me to do. Intelligence made me learn search engine optimizations and geotagging and all this stuff that I had to learn in order to be in this field, and was in the field in 2006. That's why I was ahead of the curve. That's why I was able to, whether they want to admit it or not, Forbes DVD was something that I built with my intelligence. What made me able to go in the studio and pick up how to use all this equipment and understand computer language and understand when we was going from Flash to HTML we was going from Flash to HTML5 to iframe. I was able to understand all that. I was able to understand coding and all that. I was able to understand that because I was intelligent. But it came a point where I broke away from, hold on, I don't gotta be like y'all to make it. I don't gotta smoke with you. I don't gotta drink with you. I don't have no jail war stories. I don't have that. Now, the fighting and the shooting and all that, I would never talk about that on camera anyway. But all that other stuff that's glorified, that people think they got a badge of honor, or you somebody special for that, I don't have none of that. But I could tell you how I was able, at 16 years old, to go to Sam Ash Records, get about $12,000 worth of music equipment and put it all together. Learn what RCA wires was, learn what 1/4-inch wires was, and the snake is, and all that, and hook all this stuff up. Not only hook it up, learn what it do. Back in the days, there was no YouTube. We had the manual, and we was like this, and I was able to pick all of this stuff up because I was intelligent. Intelligence is gangster. Intelligence is gangster. See, a gangster is not a brute. A gangster is not somebody in jail. A gangster is not somebody that harms somebody. A gangster is somebody that can use their intelligence and can control people that want to be foolish. See, a wise man could play the role of a fool, but the fool could never play the role of a wise man. So as I've been traveling in life and I've been going, I realized, you smart. Embrace it. Embrace your intelligence. Embrace the fact that you know stuff. Embrace the fact that you a tech dude. I show y'all all my wires I got. Embrace the fact that you're able to build anything from scratch. Embrace the fact that you're able to be a black man in America that's heterosexual, not a womanizer. I don't got 15 baby mothers. I don't have no drinking stories for you. I don't have no weed stories for you. I don't have no jail stories for you. I don't have no street tales from you. All I could give you is the fact that I was able to amass everything I have based off of this. I didn't have to punch nobody. I don't have no sob story. I don't have no victimhood. I don't have no trauma. I don't have anything like that. And if I did have it, my intelligence allowed me to say, yo, that's really bothering you. And that's taking you out of your supreme mind. So I already was on computer. If I show y'all what I have, I got a laptop over there. I got a desktop right here. I got a MacBook in there. And the MacBook is $4,000. I got a desktop, sound cards, everything. I showed y'all a little bit of my setup. That's what intelligence enabled me to do. And in the world that we living in now, I see people sitting there like this, trying to figure out what I figured out 10 years ago. Because I applied myself. See, application is everything, because you got people who have intelligence and they don't use it. Then you have people who have emotional intelligence and they think they can emotion stuff and say, yeah, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. So when people talk to me about views, likes, and you don't got this and you don't got that, I say, well, how do you know what you're even talking about? Do you know what's going on in this space? You don't know, but you're telling me about something that you don't know about. Every day somebody's giving me a suggestion about something that they don't know nothing about, that they don't do. They never took no risk. They never been homeless. They never been destitute. They never been down on their luck and always found a way to get back up. I had one of the biggest websites in the world. I chose to walk away from it. 2015, Doggie Diamonds was invented. He existed prior to 2015, but he existed and he had to come before y'all because he was being suppressed. His intelligence was being suppressed. His thoughts was being suppressed for the greater good of a company that my mind is bigger than the company. So he was forced to come before you. Look what he brung to you, brung to the culture that I never would have did before because I was so company based. I was so into this, we. I'm not French. We means nothing to me. I had to step out of everything. That's why when you say, what's up with this person? What's up with that person? Everybody's doing their thing, but I have to do me because what I possess up here and what I want to do, everybody's not ready for that. Everybody doesn't comprehend. Everybody doesn't get it. So if you don't get what I'm trying to get you to get because you don't have the intelligence to get what I'm trying to tell you, do I stay with you or do I move along? See, I choose to move along. I choose to keep it moving. Everybody's not ready for everything. Everybody doesn't understand or foresee what I foresee. Listen, I'm not staying nowhere with nobody. I did that for too long and it harmed me. I'm not staying in the hood with the dudes. I'm not saying this street tales and all this shit because nothing came from it for nobody. Nothing came from any of that. Nobody amassed anything from being a street dude. No one. There's a lot of myths, there's a lot of stories, but nobody was able to really big their stuff up based off of that because they don't talk about the trauma, they don't talk about the sleepless nights, they don't talk about the real prison side of the inhumane treatment. Everybody act like everything was just peaches and cream and you had a good time. I remember getting shot at. You know how traumatizing it is to get shot at and watch one of your loved ones get hit? Do you know how traumatizing it is to be 12 or 13 years old and because you want to be outside, to be a street dude, the police put a gun to your head? Do you know what it's like to have a gun to your head? And you have a gun to your head from the people who's supposed to be protecting and serving you. But being that you fit the description or they just on some BS. Now you got a gun to your head. You in your childlike mind start saying, well, what if the gun go off? What if the finger, you start thinking that. So now you're traumatized. So now what happens? You growing up and you hating that. You hating this. So now from that hate, it start manifesting itself physically, because how do you get out hate? It's going to become physical. You're going to start harming people based off of your hate. You're going to start harming people based off of your trauma. You traumatized, everybody got to be traumatized. That's just how we grow up. Nobody goes to get help. You got guidance counselors. You got a whole bunch of stuff. But I'm telling you, I used to like to go outside and punch people in their mouth because it was something to do. Until I was like, I ain't going out there with y'all. I got to learn how to use this SB 1200. I got to learn how to use this 950. Now, the saddest part about being in the hood is that you have something called survivor's remorse. I don't know if y'all ever heard of that term before, but it's something called survivor's remorse, where you're not outside in the hood and dudes are out in the hood doing them and you wasn't there and one of them died, and you wasn't there because you was doing something that stopped you from being there. So now you have survivor's remorse. So I could tell you the story like this something that happened in 1993. So I remember being in the crib, being in Juicy crib, and I'm working on the beat. I remember the sample and everything. I remember the drums and everything. I was using Blind Alley drums, trying to chop Blind Alley drums because I heard the scenario, and I'm like, yo, the scenario remix. And I'm like, I know Q-Tip chop Blind Alley drums, but I don't know how to catch these drums because I got it from the Ultimate Breaks and Beats record, and it don't sound as clean as he did. So did he just use the snare? Did he use a kick from somewhere? So I'm sitting there trying to figure it out. Then I have Wes Montgomery record. It has a piano on it, so I'm trying to get the piano, and RZA ended up using it for Shame on the same thing, but I was using this before him. So I have this Wes Montgomery, dun, 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 dun. It's on Shame on the same piano. Then I have this Blind Alley, and I'm trying to chop it, and I can't catch it. I'm trying to figure it out. And I remember Juicy saying, yo, I'll be right back. I'm going to the store. I'm like, I ain't going to the store. I got to figure out how to chop this. So it went from him telling me, and I'm talking about we are kids, little kids, him telling me I'm going to the store, to when he didn't come back from the store. Needless to say, I didn't get to chop it right, but he didn't come back from the store. And I'm like, the hell is taking him so long? To going outside looking for him. And they tell me Black O got shot and a few of your family members got shot. Now imagine being a child, a kid. I don't know how to fathom this. I don't know how to say, what? Where are they? He went to Kings County and somebody's in Brooklyn Hospital. Somebody like who? I don't know, but somebody's there. They took somebody to Brooklyn Hospital. So now I'm scurrying around, and this is a small block. So now I'm like, where is everybody? I'm in the crib making the beat. Who was in the crib with me? Drama and Half. Drama and Half was in the crib with me while I was making the beat, because I was in a group called Little Bastards, and I'm like, yo, we got to do a comeback. Forget Track Masters. I'm the producer now. We could come back and we could do this. So I'm in the crib making the beat. They left. They don't know what's going on. I go outside, and then I go to, they said Black O was shot at. So I go to the block. A lot of yellow tape out there. I'm like, what the hell? By myself. As I go over there, they say, yo, somebody's in Brooklyn Hospital. I'm like, somebody like who? So I'm like, so I start seeing some of the, I'm like, yo, who was there? Who? Black O shot, who was there? Yo, it was this one, this one, this one, and this one. So where he at? I go to the crib. One of my family members. Yo, what? Yo, blah, 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 blah. Oh, wow. So where everybody else at? I don't know. Yo, I ain't gonna say too much, you know what I'm saying? But so I'm like, damn, where's everybody? I'm like, yo, where Juicy at? Yeah, I don't know. I went this way. We all went different ways. So I'm like, damn. Everybody go to Kings County. I'm like, but they got somebody in Brooklyn Hospital. Who the hell is in Brooklyn Hospital? Needless to say, I go to Brooklyn Hospital, and I remember them saying to me, "You looking for somebody?" I said, "Yeah, I think one of my friends might have." I'm 15 years old, and they say one of my friends might have been taken here. They might have got shot too. And I remember them saying the dude was like, I don't know, they got a body over there in the hallway. And I remember being, like I said, I'm a kid. My heart dropped. Like, what? They got a what? They got a body over there. I mean, go look and see if it's somebody you know. And I remember just being by myself, and I ain't call nobody. I should have thinking back, I should have called somebody, but I was so rushing to see who this was. Like, what you mean you got a body over there? And I go look, and it's Juicy, dead. This is somebody I spent 95% of my time with. The only time we wasn't together is when he was in the shower, I was in the shower. But we slept. He was sleep. I was spending the night at his crib. He was sleeping in bed. I'm on the floor. We got girls. Yo, you got a girl. And I just remember, I knew my life was forever different at that moment. I knew my life was forever different. I knew that I never was going to be the same. I knew that my life was forever different. I knew that I never was going to be the same. I knew that from that moment, I never was going to be the same. Because I couldn't understand how, when, why did this happen? And then I started wishing I was dead. Because I'm like, how could I live? And he dead. I'm in the crib making a beat, and he just went outside. Are you supposed to be here with me? I was working on music, which I couldn't understand. Then I had the task of calling his mother and telling his mother that I didn't even know how to tell her. I just like, yo, I'm in Brooklyn Hospital, and I found Julie is dead. And I forever replay in my head the reaction I got from a mother that I just told that her son is dead. I don't even know how he got killed. I don't know where he got killed. I just know he here. Come to the hospital. He dead. He dead. And I remember, I just knew that my life was never going to be the same. I just knew that it was over for me, how I thought, And I remember her just coming to the hospital, and I just remember like I couldn't pry. Like, I'm like, hold on. Because in the hood, when you a street dude and you want to be in the street, you don't know that death is permanent. You don't know that this is it. It's over. They not coming back. Especially when you a child, you can't fathom it. I mean, you might see your cat die. You might see your dog die. You might hear uncle such and such die. But when it's your best friend, more like your brother, die, you can't process that. Your brain doesn't allow you to process that, because how do you process that? So I remember going to his crib and getting his I remember he gave me I had a 380, and I remember just having that 380, and I was like, yo, somebody gotta die too. Like, somebody gotta die too. And I had something called survivor's remorse, because I didn't understand, how was I going to move on? I don't have the person that I'm with all the time. What am I to do? I don't want to do music no more. I don't want to do music no more. I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to do nothing. I don't even want to, nobody talk to me. I don't like none of y'all. I need answers, and I don't have the answers. And I remember just we having to prepare for this funeral. I'm like, is this shit even real? Like, I gotta be asleep. And I remember his mother saying, go in his room and find something for him to wear. And I was like, for him, what you mean for him to wear? Like, he needs clothes that to wear in the casket. I know he don't want to wear a suit. And I picked out his outfit. My cousin Simbo cut his hair, and I didn't understand how he was able to cut our childhood friend hair while he was dead. Like, I forever, I would never understand how he was able to do that, because I couldn't do it. But he did it. He cut his hair. And I would just remember having survivor's remorse. I just remember growing up from those times, and these was the times where, and I remember Big coming down. I was like, yo, that shit is true, what happened to Juicy? I'm like, yeah, he passed away, because Big used to come to the crib, and this is where we recorded a lot of shit. Big, Little Kim used to come to the crib. That was his crib, the first studio. And I remember Big was like, yo, that's fucked up. Damn. Now this happened in 93. Fast forward. I'm in the crib working on music. See, the music saved me. It saved me because it stopped me from going outside. It stopped me from hanging. It stopped me from being on the corner. It stopped me from wilding. I was in the crib working on beats. I was doing beats. I was doing music. No, you know what? I got to do it in the honor of him. He believed in me before anybody else. I got to make this happen. So I got Big coming to the crib. Now I started, my famous friends are coming to the crib. But I believed in my group, the Little Bastards. So now we working on music. The Yankees won the World Series that day. The Yankees won the World Series that day. 1996. And I never forget, I heard it was a shooting in Atlantic Terminals. I didn't know what happened. I'm like, well, somebody got shot in Atlantic Terminals. There's two things. I know who did the shooting, or I know who got shot. Regardless, it ain't a good thing. And I remember some of the, my affiliates at the time turning the corner was like, yo, Half got killed. Now, this is the dude who put me in a music group that I toured with, that I still have pictures with, that I believed in. I wanted us to make it again. I wanted us to rise back in the music industry. We still kids. The record labels did us dirty and all that. Nah, we gonna come back. Now, he dead. And I don't have the answers. I'm like, okay, when Juicy got killed, I was with you. Now you get killed. I'm in the house making music. What the hell is going on? See, that's the part that they never explained to me. That's the part of this street shit that they never explained to me, that your friends are going to die. Your close friends are going to die. And if you not lucky, if you are lucky, you won't die with them. But the problem is, when you're from the hood, you feel like, damn, why I ain't just died too? Why wasn't I there? I wish I was there. I wish I got killed too. I wish I was dead. I wish I was dead with them. Because now you a child and you got a child mind. You got to deal with funerals. You got to deal with people crying. You got to deal with all this shit. And you can't even process what's going on. Pardon my language. So Half get killed. And I remember that like yesterday, because I remember going up to the casket and I remember kissing him and just saying, yo, man, damn. This is 96. 97. Still doing music. At this time, I'm flourishing a little bit more. The studio is not getting bigger, but my notoriety is getting bigger as a producer, not only from the hood, but in the industry. I reunite with track masters. I'm back in the mix. I'm doing stuff. And shout out to Moby. I probably shouldn't tell the story, but I will. And you probably don't remember, but I have a vivid memory. And I remember Moby calling me. Me and Easy Moby had our last four numbers of our phone bill was very interchangeable. And I remember Moby calling me. And he was like, yo, Big is going to Cali. I was like, what are you going to Cali for? He said, I don't know. And he had me flip More Bounce, which is More Bounce as Zap and Roger, EPMD use it for you guys to chill. He said he had me flip More Bounce. And I did a song for him called I'm Going Back to Cali, and I don't really think that's a good idea. I said, he did what? A song called Going Back to Cali? He said, yeah, he did a song called Going Back to Cali. He's in California. And I was like, nah, that's not a good idea. Who we with? So I'm hearing, most of the hood was there. And I'm like, nah, that's not going to end well, because 6 months prior, Tupac got killed. Then I remember being in the crib, 1997, I'll never forget. Yo Big got killed in Los Angeles. And I was like, what? And I just remember, like, all of this stuff we survived, all of this. How does somebody go into the music industry and get killed in the music? And that's when it changed from the music couldn't save you no more. So I knew I couldn't be saved by the music. I knew that the studios, I knew all of that became dangerous because the street dudes invaded the music industry. That's when I knew, okay, this gotta hit different. We gotta go to the studio gripped up. Yo, you can't be telling that. That's when it was forever different. That's when it was like, yo, they killed Big. Like, they killed Brooklyn and Los Angeles. So now, everything Los Angeles, we like, yo, whoever out here from LA, they gotta get it. I remember Ice-T on the radio crying, look it up, crying. Yo, I ain't had nothing to do with that. I'm scared. I remember that because I remember the temperament. I'm from that neighborhood. That's my neighborhood. I remember us just wanting war, us wanting blood. I remember Big Casket going around my hood, and I just remember like, yo, what the hell is going on? Like, nobody told me as a child that being a street guy, this was what come with it. This is how you are set up to fail, and it's something that's being passed down from generation to generation. You're not letting the youth, you're not letting that little girl be a little girl. You're letting the little girl make adult decisions. Children should never know if the mortgage isn't paid, if the rent isn't paid. They should never know why there's no food. They should never know. They should always stay in their childlike mind. That's why when I'm around my niece and nephew, they don't have no problems. When they want something, two brilliant babies in school, brilliant. When they say, Uncle, I want this, you're going to get it, because they should never hear, Uncle don't got it. Because my niece, well, her little smart self is going to say, how you don't got it and you on TV every day? Because she thinks this is the TV, so she'd be like, I see you working every day. You on TV. How you don't have it? It'd be Five Below toys, $5. And of course I got it. But her brilliance, her innocence, and the other day I just put her in piano lessons. Because she likes to play the keyboard. And I'm like, oh, you know what? She's 5. If she pick up this keyboard, woo, we going to have a prodigy by the time she's 8 years old. And my nephew, I took him for a trial learning the keyboard. I wish I could show y'all the video. And he caught some of the notes and he learned. He like, yes, I got it. I'm like, you know what? No. These babies are brilliant, and they always going to be protected. I'm always going to protect them from all of this stuff that they might think they have to do, but that they think they might have to be a part of to be included in the failure. No. You know what? You're going to learn piano at 5. You might not like it in 2 months, but guess what? You got 4 lessons coming to you. You got 4 lessons coming to you. You might not even like it. But I want you to have the experience of when I was 5 years old, I took piano. When I was 3 years old, I've been to Aruba, Bahamas, all that. So you got people that'll come before you and say, why y'all traveling? Don't be traveling. How do you get culture if you never leave where you're destined to fail? How do you get culture? How do you learn about other cultures? How do you see other things if you never leave a place that sets you up for failure? See, that's why when people be talking stuff, I just be like, I've been to Mexico 3 times. I'm going back. I'm going back because I'm not scared, because I'm not going out there to do anything illegal. I'm not going to get a BBL, and I ain't going out there to deal in no cocaine business. So when you see people doing illegal stuff and illegal stuff happening, I'm not going to fearmonger y'all. Listen, I want to travel. I've got some of the biggest peace. I got some of the greatest clarity getting on that plane, going to another country and sitting on the beach and just saying, wow, I don't got a care in the world. All I care about is me and these elements. This sun is hitting me great. This water is relaxing sounding, and this sand is great. So for anybody who sit before you and tell you don't travel, don't do this, don't do that, come on, man. How do you get culture if you never leave from the place that set you up for failure? You know why I buy my niece a lot of toys, and I buy flowers, and I buy all that stuff? Because she's going to learn as a baby, a 3-year-old. I just show her first toy that she ever got in her life. She still got it. It's a soccer ball. She's going to learn growing up that the love from a man has never been sexual. It didn't start out like that. My uncle bought me everything. And all I had to do was be a good baby, and I got rewarded for everything. So as she get older and men try to control her and say, I'll buy you this if you give me that, or if you don't give me this, you can't get that, she's going to say, I already got all that stuff. I already got diamond earrings. I'm 5. So you can't impress me with none of that stuff. It's the instilling in children that wasn't instilled in me. See, people think generational curses is breaking generational curses and getting money. That's not what breaking generational curses. Breaking generational curses is the mind state. You got to break the way we think. You got to break some of them superstitions. You got to break that. Generational curses is not, I'm working hard, so you don't got to work hard. So say you work hard, you amass riches, and you got this company. If that company is not the love of the child, they're going to squander everything because they don't care. They never learned money. They never learned credit. They never learned what bank accounts was. They never learned any of that. That's what breaking generational curses is. Not you getting money and we rich. That's not what that is. It's breaking the mind state of this is what held me here. But you're not going to be held here because I'm going to give you all the opportunity to see different things, to experience different things. Life is more than throwing rocks. Life is more than throwing bottles at people and going to hooky parties and doing all this shit. That's what breaking generational curses is. Life is more than you smoking weed for the first time or you getting on pills. I remember my first beer. I remember my first alcohol was a pink champagne. And I could tell you, I wish I never did none of that shit. But me being intelligent, I quit drinking. Never drink again. Since 2002, there isn't too many people that got the will and the strength that I have, but I'm glad that I have it. I'm glad that I have it. You know why? Because the intelligence that I used to get teased for, I was able to use that intelligence to change my life. I was able to use that intelligence and come up with a plan to lose 100 pounds. I was able to use that intelligence and create what I got. And whether you think it's nothing or you think it's something, I built that. That comes from here. I was able to use the intelligence that God gave me, that run through me and spark a whole genre called podcasting that everybody is doing. That comes from here. That comes from me. I'm not going to get the credit. They're going to say this person is this. But you heard what Nori said. You heard it. So if y'all all look up to Nori, and if he says, if it wasn't for you, there would be no drink champs. Where you think it comes from? Because like it or not, Math Hoffa, Gilly, Nori, Joe Button, I was interviewing them. Before they knew what an interview was, I was interviewing them. So when I see them and they got successful podcasts and they got big platforms, I'm happy because they're able to take the culture further and expand the culture. Never mad, never bitter, never hating. This is something that I am the root of it. But it was that intelligence that I was almost taught not to have. That was being reverse indoctrinated out of me. Nobody want to hear that shit, Sharif. Listen, let me explain something to you. A.A. Rashid is my brother. One of the most brilliant, so brilliant sometimes. I be like, damn, how you know that? But he been like that since we were children. And I'm not going to tell his story. He could tell his story. But based off of A.A. Rashid's living conditions, how he had to deal with things in life, he ended up doing 10 years in prison with that brilliant mind, and he knew better. But being in the hood, thinking you have to survive, and sometimes you have to survive, the brute in you supersedes the intelligence. So now you just, not him, but some of us are now just smart dummies, dead, in jail, or hurt. And we know better. But the hood don't know better. Whether you like it, some people in the hood, due to their behavior, are in special classes. They used to call them 600 schools. I was always in the top classes. Always. Some of my friends was in classes with a teacher and a para. And it's like 7 other kids. Some of my friends was going to the resource room. I didn't know what none of that was. I didn't know that meant that you could. I just knew that I'm reading everything. I remember in hip hop, I'm reading the whole credits. I'm reading what record label was on. I'm reading who did the drums. I remember reading everything. I remember reading Rush Management. I remember Cara Lewis, the agent. I remember reading all of that. I just remember reading, having the love for reading. I didn't know the love for reading prepared me for this day. Nobody never told me, read. It's just something that I did. Thankfully, I did. Because me being reading and me being and having this intelligence is what got me where I'm at today. Where, respectfully, I've never had a 9 to 5. This is my 9 to 5. Imagine you can get up and talk for a living every day of your life. You can talk. You can speak truth to power. You can change people's life with your words. You can either build or destroy. Many people choose to destroy because they're hurting, so they want to hurt everybody, or they want to deflect their hurt and tell you hurt. Me, I choose to build up. But I'm going to be realistic at the same time. See, I could come on here and put titles and sensationalize it. You think that's what's going to get pushed through YouTube? You think me telling you to sober up, you to stop smoking, stop drinking, stop being a sexual deviant, stop being a gangster, stop being a street dude? You think YouTube is going to push that? You think YouTube is going to get me to 1 million subscribers telling you that? Let's just be honest. They're not. Because I don't fit the agenda that is put in place. I don't fit that. They don't know how to figure me out. I can't be figured out. Did you notice? I don't know if you noticed, at one particular time, when you spoke, you had to manually put in closed captions where they would automatically take your words and you would have to scribe them yourself. Now, through artificial intelligence, everything I say is automatically scribed. Everything I say, automatically closed captions pick it up. So they know everything I say. So when I finish this video, it's going to be in yellow, right? That means can't be monetized, has to be manually reviewed. I'm going to put in for a review. The fact that I have peer pressure in the title and street dude, they're not going to monetize this video. So I'm basically doing this video for free. But I don't give a damn because some of these things need to be said. It's not always about money. I can't always get money every time I talk. Some things has to be said because some of the things you say is going to change lives. It's going to change lives. It's going to change the way people perception of stuff. Our perception is so clouded, just like the degeneracy and the perception has been passed down. And I'm telling any of you, don't be afraid that you know something. Don't dumb yourself down. Don't act like you are dumb to fit in with people who think it's cool to be dumb. I love the fact that I know stuff. I love the fact that I'm a researcher. That's why when people say stuff to me and they bother me, I'm able to pull up all these facts and receipts that comes from intelligence. Like, hold on, didn't you say here? And I could do stuff right on the spot. Because I study, I do brain exercises, I do puzzles, I do different things. I'm not a drinker, I'm not a smoker, I have no escape from me. That's a problem though. I'm a man with many gifts, right? So think about Christmas as a child. You got 15 gifts. What gift do you open? What gift do you gravitate towards? That's your problem. So I'm a man that know how to do so many things. I have too many gifts. So sometimes I have to think about what gift I want to open today, what gift I want to play with today. Okay, my biggest gift is not the gift of gab, because I don't think I'm gabbing, but I just think one of my biggest gifts is to be able to convey a message to people and articulate stuff with just good old common sense and not be able to judge you because you don't know or not ready for that. I know certain people are not ready. I know certain people are not ready to lose weight. Certain people who's not ready to stop drinking. Certain people who's not ready to stop smoking. But I watch people and people get mad when I talk sobriety. People get mad at me. Oh, nah, you bugging now. Oh, you talking about not weed. When they put in fentanyl and everything. The stuff that you won't eat GMO corn, but you'll smoke lab-grown weed. You're watching stuff being processed in a laboratory. You're watching it. You might even have went to the laboratory and seen it, but you'll smoke that. But I ain't eating no corn, that's GMO. What do you think that weed is? Nah, but it opens up a dimension. You full of shit. And if you do what you do what you do, but stop passing it to them babies. Stop passing it to the kids. It ain't cool to be a parent and sitting there smoking with your kid and you took them for their first drink because you know how much of a damn failure you are from doing that. And why do you keep passing on failure? You want the people that's coming behind you to be better than you, to be bigger than you, and get the opportunity that you never got. Because if you know better, then you should encourage them to do better. You should be, I don't see nobody talking about how they babies got good report cards. We don't see no graduation stuff. We don't see none of that. All we see is little kids learning how to twerk, little kids learning how to curse, they rappers, they all of that. But you never see anything where they're using their mind and their brain. You don't see none of that. You don't see no graduation pictures because they graduate from pre-K to kindergarten. Then they graduate from kindergarten to first grade. This is a fact. Where's that at? Where that's at? You don't see that? Because that's suppressed. You don't see no children counting. You don't see no children doing timetables. You see them on there doing stuff that's very low vibrational, and you passing on failure because you know how you ended up. You know you ended up on the system. You know you ended up on welfare. You was homeless before because things you didn't know. Now you know what the consequence was for some of your actions. Why would you put your child, your niece, your nephew through any of that? I got some uncles, they're complete idiots. They let me curse. They was giving me liquor. They was giving me all that. And then one day I was like, yo, nah, I don't want to be like him. I don't want to be like him. So my intelligence that I was getting clowned for, hey, Rob Ortiz, thank you for the super chat. The intelligence I was getting clowned for, I sit back and I laugh now and I'll be like, at least you ain't no smart dummy. At least you knew how to use what you acquire and still acquiring. It's a whole nother world that I'm studying that I'm not telling nobody. Because nobody's ready. A lot of people are not ready for what's coming. Me, I am an anticipator. Not a fearful person. I'm not scared of anything. Well, I'm scared of heights and I'm scared of water. But I'm not afraid of anything. I embrace change. I embrace what's coming. Because anticipation is everything. But if you study and you know what's going on, then you know what's coming. So yeah, I'm in here and I might be on the computer all day when I ain't at the gym or whatever. Yeah, I spend a lot of time on the computer. I don't spend time on Instagram in chicks DMs. I don't spend time tweeting, trying to be all these things. I spend time studying. That's why I can use Photoshop. That's what, let me show y'all something. My intelligence allowed me to be able to go in Sony Vegas and edit some of these interviews that you might like. Allow me to go into Photoshop and make thumbnails. Why it ain't coming up? Did it come up? Hold on, let me put this down. My fault. Not close window. Hold on. I gotta make sure we seeing the same thing. Yeah, my intelligence allowed me to be able to embrace Photoshop and make my own thumbnails and make my own artwork. I could go from that. Then I could go somewhere else that I ain't gonna show y'all. But it allowed me to be able to pull up websites and go to websites and learn different things from websites. That's what my intelligence allowed me to do. My intelligence allowed me to go be able to upload my podcast to a different thing. Learn how to strip the audio, extract the audio from this and go into my podcast. My intelligence allowed me to be able to learn how to distribute it to different platforms via the RSS feed. How many of y'all know what a goddamn RSS feed is? How do y'all know? How many of y'all know what an RSS feed is? I bet you many people don't even know what an RSS feed is. You have no idea. But you talking about, yeah, I know this, I know that. Maestro Fresh West, I'm going to keep it real with you. It might take me a week to pick up stuff. When I don't know stuff, that's when I'm crazy. And I'm like, how I don't know? How I don't know? So that's why I don't get no box. That's why I don't have a bunch of women. That's why I don't have a lot of that stuff, because my high, my ejaculation comes from learning. That's how I get off. That's how I get off. It might take me a few days. You could give me a piece of equipment. I promise you I'll make a beat for you. That's how I get off. What? Acquired another skill. What? I just learned something. Ha! I know what I'm up against. I know who I'm competing against. I know that I'm supposed to be a dumb street dude who's going to die and go to jail and risk it all because these dudes be playing on YouTube, playing on his social media. I know that I'm supposed to lose it all because that's how many of us end up. I know that I'm supposed to crash. I know that. But my intelligence doesn't allow that. See, I beat people mentally. You see how easy it was to defeat Bozo? That was all mental. We ain't even get physical. That was easy. Because when it came to dealing with this, you're going to get exposed messing with me. When it comes to the battle of the mind and the battle of wittiness and you're going to get exposed messing with me because you're not mentally capable of dealing with me. Because I have this, I have facts, and I have truth. You could lie, you could make up stuff, you could do all that, but the truth is truth. So the things that people are getting distracted by, the thing that people say is fun, listen, I will sacrifice a little bit of fun to have a lot of fun later. Seriously. So I got gadgets everywhere. You see me, I got an iPhone, I got a Galaxy, I got a PlayStation, I got an Xbox, I got an Oculus, I got a MPC Renaissance, I got an MPC 2000 XL, I got a machine, I got Logic, I got a Phantom X6, I got an SP1200, I got an S950, I got all of this. I got all of this. And I sit here and I be like, yeah. This is not StreamYard. I didn't just go into a program and just do stuff. I had to learn how to do this. I had to learn how to make these things, which is not easy. I could show you right now how these things are put together. Look, I could turn this off. So every time I talk, you see the meters jumping. Every time I talk, the meters jump. I could take this off. You see that? That's how people's stuff look. I said, you know what? Nah, that look kind of corny. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do something and I'm going to put that around. And it has to learn. I mean, it has to move. I need moving. I need to do that. I need to learn how to do this. And then you know what I said? I said, yo, now you have to learn how to do this. None of this is bought. This is the stuff that I sit here and make. It's what I sit here and make. You know why? Because I feel like I accomplished something. I feel like, yo, you know what? You changed your YouTube. It was a little boring. Your logo was boring. Look at the logo behind you. You don't even look like that no more. You have to change it. So what I do, I sit here and I come up and I work. And then I work on this. Like, that's it. That's more like you. Look at the Doggie Diamonds TV. This font is the Raiders font. You know why? Because that was the crew I was down with, the Raiders. So this font is the Raiders font. The D in the D, I took that, put that together. Let me see if it's actually in here. You seeing all my stuff. Hold on. Let me see. No, that's the Beef and Broccoli show. That's coming soon. The D in the D. I took the D and the D out. Maybe it's actually in here. You can see it. Look, I took the D and the D from there and put the TV on it. So now that's the avatar on my channel, Doggie Diamonds TV. I make all of this. This is what I sit here and do. So while dudes is bullshitting, excuse my language, while dudes is getting high, while dudes is trying to prove that they the most street gangs, toughest killer in the world, people are sitting there asking me, yo, how you do that? Because I ain't trying to be ignorant. I want to be intelligent. I like intelligence. I like sitting there doing this. I like learning. I like that. That's what I like. So when you have these children and you see them with their gifts, stop suppressing them. Stop suppressing them. Stop taking the things that you failed with and passing it to them. Breaking generational curses is not a money thing. It's a mind state. We are cursed mentally, and it manifests itself physically through trauma. When you see a child, when you see a little boy, when you see a little girl, when you see a teen, a preteen, mid-teen, don't encourage them to do stuff that you know messed your life up. Don't say, oh, they got to experience. No, they don't. No, they don't. Because some things you don't recover from. Some people are chemically imbalanced. So if they smoke that weed, they're never going to be the same. They're never going to be the same. If they drink that liquor, they might develop an alcohol dependency. And you proud to know that you did that? You know how addictive cigarettes are? You know how addictive getting high is? That's what you want for your little ones and your loved ones and little dudes in the hood. You think it's, yo, I turned him on. Yo, he smoked his first blunt with me. That's a badge of honor. That's something to brag about. Oh, he got high with me for the first time. Or the first time he got some ass. We was together. I took him. How far did that get you? What did that get you? What did that get you? Ain't get you nothing. And you passing that, and you passing failure. Because I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Some of y'all adults are fucking failures. You fail every day of your life. You wake up every day to fail. You wake up every day to afflict people. You hate everything and you hate everybody. And all you want to do is create more yous. And that's very vampiric. Very vampiric. You energy vampire, spirit vampires, and you a piece of shit. And you wouldn't be more happier than to have a bunch of yous. Because when people say something and try to correct you, you just want to be able to say, what about you? And that's your creation. You don't want nobody better than you. You don't want nothing better than you because you know how much of a piece of shit you are. So God forbid somebody become better than you and greater than you. Because you're narcissistic and you know you a failure. You know you got up today to do nothing but critique and talk about what everybody else is doing. You ain't create nothing. You didn't enhance nothing. All you did was get high, didn't brush your teeth, didn't wash your ass, or jump on social media and look at who had something to say to you, or look at what you gonna talk about. You don't create nothing. You don't enhance nothing. Nothing. All you do is take away. And you got the nerve to have children that you're supposed to be raising to be better people, but you spend all your time on social media. You spend all your times in DM. When the last time you read a book to your child? How you think they're going to learn how to read and have comprehension if you don't even know how to speak well? You don't even know how to read. Where are they supposed to learn from? And then when they learn and their vocabulary increases and their learning increases, you want to tell them they being white. So that automatically falls into the white supremacy thing, because speaking well is white, learning is white, knowing is white. So you think they're going to want to be white? When you made all of that a bad thing, you made speaking well synonymous with white. You made pronunciation synonymous with white. You made being intelligent synonymous with white. They're going to run from that. That's why you got dudes on that's pushed through like T.I. that can say, I ain't disrespect nobody. I ain't disrespect. What the hell is disrespect? And that's just his accent. He can't say disrespect. So we supposed to have a bunch of children that's supposed to take over the world one day saying, I don't tolerate no disrespect. What the hell is disrespect? And we think that shit is cute. And we think it's funny. And we laugh. Oh, his accent is heavy. It's how the goddamn slaves talked. Because they wasn't taught the language well. So I don't think it's cool when you can't speak. I don't think it's cool when you using all this verbiage and all that. Get the hell out of here. I don't tolerate no disrespect from nobody. The hell is disrespect? But he always on the screen. He always this. You don't think that it's going to raise children to speak like that? And then at the same time, look at his child. Don't know how to act. Always doing something. So of course I'm not going to get 1 million views. Of course I'm not going to get 400,000 subscribers. Of course I'm not going to get all this shit. Because I can't give you that. I can't give you nothing. I can't give you nothing but what I got. I don't have no ignorance to give you. Sorry. I don't have no ignorance to give. You ever heard Plies talk without? You ever heard him? Did you hear how intelligent he is? You ever heard Plies talk? Look up Plies Speaks Regular. It's going to blow your mind. Because you're going to know that it's all an act. And it's rewarded. It's rewarded. We gravitate towards the act. We gravitate towards the ignorance. Some of these dudes be college educated. And they'll suppress their college education to be a street dude that they're not. But via their intelligence, they're able to use the intelligence that they have and mess with y'all because they know we gravitate to ignorance. They know that we gravitate to the low level stuff because that's all we see for ourselves. We don't see ourselves on higher levels. We don't see ourselves being here. We see ourselves as CEOs of record companies and cosmetics and all this stuff. That's all we are. All we are is sports and entertainment. And it's a whole world going on. It's a whole world going on. You got to learn how to sheetrock. You got to learn how to do something with your hands. I don't know how to do none of that shit. Just to keep it real with you. I don't know how to do none of that. I can't put up a ceiling fan. I can't fix a light fixture. Can't. But I was able to acquire more than the people who do that because I knew that they want us to be the laborers. We built this country. So how am I able to get what they're getting without busting a sweat? That's what I sat back and studied. Like, hold on. I ain't getting up no 5 a.m. getting dirty with dirty boots on. I ain't James Evans looking for work, Florida. Nah. That ain't for me. For all those who do that, salute to them. That ain't for me. And I'm not going to feel inadequate because I don't know how to do those things. For those who do that, fine. Those who do that, fine. That wasn't for me. That ain't my thing. I'm not getting up 4 a.m. I ain't doing that. I said, how could I find a way to use this, apply it to my life, apply it to my life without doing all this manual labor? I just have to think all day. That's easy. All I got to do is think. I think anyway. I actually overthink. So you see dudes out there waving flags. Salute to them. Making good money. But if they had it their way, they probably wouldn't have to get up. But they were told that's all they could do because you're not allowed to use your brain. Even though when you're sheetrocking, you're doing different things, you have to use your brain. But you're taught that you're not using your brain. You're taught that you're doing manual labor. That's why everywhere you go, you see Mexicans, you see us. Where the construction site where all the white dudes at? Why do they come through with a hard hat and a suit and tell everybody what to do? Ain't lift a damn finger. You ain't noticed that? When the ribbon is cut, who cut the ribbon? When you go by Home Depot, who's sitting out of Home Depot wanting to get work? Where that white dude in a suit out there? You never pay, see, I pay attention to everything. I'm like, yo, hold on. Nah. See, I ain't no worker. I don't work for them. I work for me. And I know that all I had to do was apply myself and not succumb to trying to have a reputation that don't mean shit. It really don't. Well, he caught mad bodies. He knocked people out. He did this amount of time in jail. Okay, now what that mean? Tell me what that mean in the real world. What does it mean? Because now you're taking pride in that you oppressed your community. So we're supposed to give you kudos because you sold drugs to your community and poisoned your community. So I don't watch BMF or none of that shit. I'm like, man, I don't want to watch that shit. It's glorified nigga shit. I'm sitting there watching how Steve Jobs came up. How Warren Buffett came up. How Bill Gates went from an engineer getting money from Apple and now is in charge of our health. How did that happen? See, that's what I study. I don't study all this, yo, Meech Uncle. Come on, man. Y'all watch that shit? Y'all watch that? With your children, you watch that. And respectfully, where Meech at? So you want to be Big Meech in jail or you want to be Bill Gates ruling the world with this? You make your choice. You want a war story? You want to be in Dawn Divas? You want to be in Feds? You want everybody to love you because you are a glorified piece of shit? Or you want to be somebody that made video games and operating systems and now control the world with this? Or you want to be the dude who's moving packs and got stories and collect code. You have a color, please hold, go ahead. That's what you want, right? That's dope. To say that, yeah, I did that time on my head, yeah, I watched Snowfall. And he stole Freeway Ricky Ross' story. Straight up and down. Stole his story. What'd he get for that? to go around and do interviews saying, they stole my story. Well, somebody intelligent stole your story. Obviously, you lack the intelligence to monetize your story. Somebody a little bit more intelligent than you took your story. But I bet you know how to get a pack. I bet you know how to move stuff. I bet you know how to do all that. You could tell those stories. But those stories that you told, somebody else monetized it because they used used their brain over your pain and your labor. It's simple. Most of these children that have been born via the pandemic and before that are brilliant. I don't know why some of these children, they brilliant. They picking up iPhones, downloading stuff, doing stuff that you never saw before. Like, yo, how you know how to do that? I talk to my niece. She be like, well, actually. I'm like, who told you how to use actually in its proper context? Bravo. And I tell her every day, that you are smart, my little smart, pretty baby. Look how smart you are. Look how you know stuff. Knowing times tables and like how you know that. Yes. Yes. You still could have your fun. You still could have your toys. You still could sing. You still could dance. You still could do all that. But when it comes to academics, you don't be slacking. And that's what it's all about. Not passing on, do you know this new Ice Spice song? And come on, man. You got mothers and daughters partying together now. So you and the homie is smashing mothers and daughters? Now? So the best thing you could do is raise your daughter to be a thought like you? You got homies smashing mothers and daughters? That's the best thing you can do for your daughter. Stop suppressing people and stop oppressing people with failure and ignorance. They're just going to fail. Stop pressuring them into knowing and learning low vibrational stuff that got you messed up, that got you on welfare, that got you in Section 8. Because none of those things are for you to stay. They're for you to get on your feet. But some people have passed down project apartments to generations. Been in projects for 30 years. Their grandmother had it. And they passed it to this cousin, that cousin. Put my name on the lease. If I die, they going to get this apartment. They ain't inheriting land. They not inheriting anything to take them further. They don't have no trust set up. They don't have none. They inherit project apartments. And all this fronting people doing. All this fronting. And then when your ass die, you got to go fund me. Tiptoe.